It's WebDM. I'm Pruitt, and this is Jim Davis. And today we're taking flight with dragons of every color of the rainbow. All right, Jim. We've talked about red dragons and the implementation of all of their ferocious power.
Yes.
So other dragons, they have different breath weapons, eccentricities.
Yeah.
Let's try to run through the entire dragon menagerie, and you just hit me with breath weapon, something cool you like about them.
Okay.
Just a little something for those out there that maybe don't know or haven't really looked into the past editions and the copious amount of dragons that exist.
Absolutely. Like, what happened to gym dragons, man?
Yeah, what happened to gym dragons?
They fell off the face of the earth.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're going to start with chromatic. Let's go ahead and finish those off. We already started with red. Black dragons.
All right. So, I mean, they've got the acid breath, but they also like to pickle their meat. When, so if it's seafood, they'll eat it fresh. Mm-hmm. But apparently, if it's red meat, they like to pickle it first. I like to think that they pickle it in their gullets or bellies, and then they puke it and then eat it again.
Let's go ahead and ride the lightning with blue dragons.
Blue dragons. All right. Lightning. Mm-hmm. Desert dwelling.
Okay.
Apparently, they like the taste of charred camel. There's a weird draconic fight going on in the deserts between like blue dragons and brown dragons and bronze dragons. I don't know. It seems like the desert's a really big and busy place for dragons.
Yeah, for such a desolate setup.
Absolutely.
Okay, white dragons.
What I really like about white dragons is because most of them are kind of stupid, frost giants use them as pets or mounts. So, they maybe they're in an ice castle built by frost giants as guard dogs or something.
That sounds like fun with that cone of cold.
Absolutely.
And round out the chromatics, let's talk about green dragons.
So green dragons might be my favorite of all of the chromatic dragons just because they're liars and weird and obsessive and paranoid. They've got the poison breath. Mm-hmm. But hill giants, oddly enough, consider green dragon hatchlings a delicacy. So maybe there's some adventure ideas there where the party's hired by a bunch of hill giants to go steal some green dragon eggs for a big feast that they're having.
I came up with what I think is a pretty great idea for a green dragon. What if a green dragon figured out, because he maybe spit his breath at some adventurers that snuck up on him while he was drinking.
Yeah.
But you mix their chlorine gas with water, and you get hydrochloric acid.
A great way to surprise a party.
Instead of just preparing for a gas breath, they have acid they're going to spit at you, and it gives them another breath weapon. Right? All right.
Absolutely love it. And it's a good point because the chromatic dragons and the metallic dragons are sort of baseline D&D. But if you're making your own world, then dragons are up for grabs. And all dragons can breathe fire, or dragons can do something different. What if you had like a Godzilla-type dragon that breathes a cone of force and radiant damage as just a gigantic beam of light, right? So, I mean, just go crazy with it and really try to subvert player expectations.
Yeah, and let them fight.
Let them fight.
Let's round out the known dragon universe with the metallics. Brass, go.
Brass. Like all metallics, they've got the dual breath weapon, sleep and fire. They love to be around people and be social, but they're also egotistical and boorish. So they're like that guy that shows up at the party. It's like they love to be there, but everybody just thinks he's so obnoxious.
Right.
It's just like, oh, the brass dragon showed up again. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And their favorite food is dewdrops, right? Dewdrops.
Dewdrops?
Dewdrops.
Just the drop.
Just the
dewdrops.
Yeah, just
dewdrops.
dewdrops.
Interesting. All right, let's go to the dude bro of the dragon universe, the bronze.
The bronze, right.
Yeah,
So bronze, we got lightning and repulsion breath. These guys love to capsize vessels that are traveling up and down the coast just for fun.
Yeah, it's like, do you even sail, bro?
Come on, bro. And they love warfare. You might imagine like a bronze dragon just polymorphing himself into a human. It's like, I'm just going to go and fight a war for a while, man.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. And then maybe just turns into a dragon in the middle of the fight because he gets so excited that he just can't contain himself anymore. He just forgets.
Why am I not flying right now? Oh, right.
Oh, right.
I love it. I love it. Copper dragons.
Copper dragons. So to me, copper dragons of all the metallics, they're like the most petty. I mean, they're just going to like capture you because they might want you to tell them the perfect joke. Or they're going to force you to go through their weird little open-topped maze. And it really reminds you that even though these are good creatures, they are like so far beyond what most mortals in the D&D world ever comprehend that they might as well be evil.
They're good in that they won't just eat you outright.
Right.
They want to have fun with you first.
But it's like, maybe that dragon forgets to feed you while you're running through its weird, bizarre maze, forced to tell it jokes every few minutes.
Right. Coming in second place with the silvers.
So silvers are kind of interesting. They like to spend a lot of their time polymorphed or shape changed as humanoid races, and unlike steel dragons, they can sustain themselves through human food. So they don't have to polymorph themselves back into dragons to
just
feed.
To eat?
Yeah, to eat. But maybe silver dragons are just like in a tavern somewhere, just hanging out, because they can do that kind of thing. They've got that kind of time. Silver dragons are also really good at getting a lot of allies, bringing a lot of people together. Maybe they're like a benefactor to the party, secretly.
And let's finish it off with going for the gold.
For me, it's kind of hard not to see gold dragons as sanctimonious and a little self-righteous. It's like, oh, I'm a gold dragon. I'm like lawful good. And who else is better than me? Nobody.
Right.
And it's like, they might decide that they're just going to go have a crusade for no reason and not tell anybody else. They're also weird about gemstones and pearls. Like, if you don't give them the right kind, they might get mad at you. It's like, what kind of creature does that? It's like, I just stay away from dragons entirely, no matter who they are, whatever color their skin. Just get away from them.
Yeah. You mentioned gem dragons. It's
Yes.
not just because it's your first name.
Right.
First off, Amethyst.
Amethyst. So the Amethyst Dragon is going to hawk a loogie at you that's going to explode with concussive force. And for some reason, they have a real problem with silver and copper dragons. Find them really silly.
I've always wanted to be able to hawk an explosive loogie.
Sure.
Crystal dragons.
Crystal dragons, like, they usually live in the same environment that white dragons do, so they sometimes like to capture white dragons as they're tiny and like babies or hatchlings, and then turn them good for whatever reason. And they also love snowball fights and snow forts.
Who doesn't?
And who doesn't? And if you're a giant dragon who can shape snow, why wouldn't you love to do that?
Let's go on to emerald dragons.
Emerald dragons, for some reason, are terrified of red dragons. I don't know. There's no such thing as a ruby dragon, but maybe there will be one day. I mean, they scream so loud they can turn you deaf, which is kind of nice. And they're psionic like all other gem dragons are. But they're also kind of reclusive, but weirdly curious. They're like a wallflower over there. It's like, I want to be in on the action, but I'm too shy to do anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I can empathize with that way too much. On to the sapphire.
Besties of the emerald dragon. So sapphire dragons scream so loud that they make you run away in fear and panic and lose your mind while you're doing it. And then for some reason, they love to hunt races of the Underdark. So Darrow, Dwergar, Drow, Aboleths. They just love to eat them.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And rounding out the gem dragons with the topaz.
So the topaz dragon is going to breathe a cone of dehydration on you. Ooh. So I don't know how that works, but it must be incredibly painful. For some reason, they got beef with the bronze dragons. Maybe the bronze dragons were like, we're going to start a war. And the topaz dragons were like, hold up, man. That's not cool. You can't do that. And topaz dragons are also neglectful parents.
You know, you hate to see it. And there is no, like, child protective services for dragons, because who's going to go take a dragon baby away?
Right, and Bahamut's got better time than to be worrying about all the dragon babies that are out there fighting Tiamat.
There's a lot of them. Now let's go to some miscellaneous grab bag of dragons.
Gotcha.
We're going to start out, what can brown do for me?
So brown dragons have no wings for some reason. They live in the desert. They got no wings. They don't like people very much because that's their primary source of food, and they don't like to talk to their food.
Wow.
I can understand that. For some reason, they got beef with the blue dragons. I don't see why the blue dragons don't just fly around and waste them, given the fact that the brown dragons can't fly. But I don't know.
Can
maybe
they burrow?
I guess. I'm sure that they can burrow. Why not?
Like trimmers.
What else can they do? Nothing. They also spit acid.
Oh yeah, they spit acid, whatever. Cloud dragons.
Apart from being able to turn into a cloud and eating rain, they also have a...
Okay.
They also sort of have this weird icy air breath. You know, they live in clouds. Maybe they encounter silver dragons a lot. Maybe they sort of get into fights with red dragons or cloud giants. They're just kind of there to show up. It's like, when's the next time your adventure is going to take place in a cloud? Maybe that cloud's really a dragon. Who knows?
Maybe it's a cloud dragon in a cloud city.
Yes.
Could be. Getting pretty deep in here, so let's go to deep dragons.
Deep dragons. So with upcoming Rage of Demons, we're going to have a lot of Underdark coming up. They consider aboleths a delicacy, right? And they have sort of a corrosive gas that they can shoot in through the tunnels of the Underdark. And weirdly enough, even though they're entirely subterranean, and all of their powers revolve around shaping earth and rock and creating tunnels, they have wings. And they can't give those to the brown dragons, Pruitt?
No.
Come on, man.
I guess not.
That is too much. I draw the line at that.
Let's go on to the Mercury Dragons.
Whimsical.
Whimsical?
Don't eat them. Like, I don't, maybe you get done slaying a dragon, you're like, we're going to eat that dragon, because why not? Right? But the flesh of Mercury Dragon is going to be poisonous. They also shoot like a laser beam kind of thing. They've got like a brilliant yellow light that they spit out of their mouths that burns you, and
they're firing their lasers?
Yes, they're firing their lasers, Pruitt.
Oh my god. Let's go on to the Mist Dragons.
Right? Scalding Vapor is the breath weapon of the Mist Dragon. They tend to be kind of solitary and philosophical, but have this weird, like, anti-social to the point of being psychotic, right? So it's like if they're sitting around a waterfall somewhere in a forest, just hanging out, they're Mist Dragons. They're eating the mist as it comes off of the waterfall, and a green dragon rolls in. Green dragon's like, this is my home too, man. I live here. This is where Tiamat said I should live because I'm a green dragon. That mist dragon's gonna be like, hell no. You better GTFO, and I'm gonna fight you and kill you until you leave.
Well, you should.
Yes.
It's a green dragon. Now we're gonna move on to Shadow Dragons.
Shadow Dragons. So in times past, Shadow Dragons were their own thing. Now they're more of a template that you slap on something else. But regardless, they both have a breath weapon that's basically some variant of level draining darkness that gets you. What I found interesting when they were more classified as their own type of dragon, that they love to eat poison and rotten food. So I don't know, maybe they've got a thing with black dragons or something like that.
Yeah, a little freaky, whatever, food action.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
If you're into that.
All right, let's gird our steels, or steel our whatever, steel dragons.
Steel dragons. So one of the few true dragons to only have two sets of limbs, their wings and their legs, often mistaken for wyverns, but you would be foolish to think that they were just mere wyverns, Pruitt.
Oh.
They like to spend their time more in human form than they do in their natural draconic form. But, they've got to come out once or twice a week to eat something because they can't just sustain themselves on people food. It really sucks for them.
And on to the last one. Certainly they can't be cowards, but they're yellow.
They are yellow, which begs the question of where is the orange dragon? It's nowhere to be seen. But, the yellow dragon has a breath weapon of scorching sand and air. They're another desert dwelling dragon, which makes me wonder what in the world is going on in deserts and Dungeons and Dragons worlds. Yeah, why do they breed so many dragons in these deserts?
Maybe since there's nothing else to do in the desert, you just figure put more dragons?
Put more dragons there. So you got to worry about brown dragons coming out. You got to worry about yellow dragons swooping down on you, blue dragons. Yellow dragons also love to eat brass dragon eggs. Ooh. So there's an adventure right there. Got to rescue the brass dragon
Most
eggs.
Definitely. I think that's it. I can't believe we actually did that.
Well, we didn't even mention Fang dragons.
Oh yeah, Fang!
Yeah, which, in some editions of the game have the power of a Vorpal sword or a sword of sharpness. Or Rust dragons, whose breath weapon mimics a rust monster's breath.
Well, anything that takes my stuff away can go suck it.
Yes.
Thanks again for watching WebDM. We're going to have new ones every Wednesday. Tell your friends. Come back next week.